Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar.
I first knew that Seth was the one. There's been so many times where I knew, okay, that's my husband. So it was the night before he left on a 2-month-long training, and he was somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. And he knew he was going to be late because I had made this huge dinner, and I think he felt guilty. He had to do some last-minute errands for work, so he picked me up and took me to work with him. And he was on the boat, and he was doing some stuff on the boat, and I was in the car waiting, and I was talking to some friends and catching up, and then we left to go home, and it was like 9:30 at night, and I knew that we weren't going to really be able to have a dinner or whatever. But it didn't bug me because I just loved sitting next to him in the car. And I just remember thinking, I'm going to marry you. And that was the first time, which is crazy because I think for him, he knew the second that he saw me when he picked me up on our very first date, which is a blind date. But it took me a little bit longer to figure it out. And I felt really good about it, but that was the moment when I knew.
When did you know Erin was the one? I knew Erin was the one. Kind of had a feeling before I even met her, talking to her on the phone when we got set up. I had a weird feeling about Erin that she was probably going to be something different. First time I saw her, definitely, I knew Erin was the one. Her answer is probably going to be after, I want to say our second date, when we met. Yeah, I think hers is going to be your second date, if I remember correctly what she told me. So that's my answer for her.
Okay, so I love the story of our first kiss because we actually kissed on the first date, which I typically never do. But he picked me up, and our first date was really fun, but I didn't think he was into me. And I was trying to put off the vibe that I was into him. And I was trying to do the arm hold, and he has these big, strong arms, so I was loving it. But he just didn't seem into it. And we went to dinner at the end of the date. So we did the activity part first, and then we went to dinner at the end. And he started flirting a little bit more, so I thought, oh, maybe he is into it. And I almost didn't go to dinner because I thought, oh, this guy's not into me. And then he took me home, and I was at my front door, well, the side door, the kitchen door that I always come in, and he was leaving, and he was lingering a little bit, and he turned around and he said, Erin, I have a really important question to ask you. And I was like, okay, what? And he said, can I ask you on another date? Would you go on another date with me? And I was like, well, yeah, of course, I'll go on another date. And he said, okay. And then he gave me another hug. But he lingered forever, and then his face got really close to my face. And then he backed away, and I said, oh my gosh, you were such a tease. That's what I said to him. And so he didn't say a word, he just came in and kissed me. And we kissed for like a half an hour on the doorstep.
When was your first kiss? This is an easy one. Our first kiss was on our first date. It was at the end of the date. Erin, you could tell she was stalling, fiddling with her keys, showing me her house, looking for an opportunity. It was end of our first date at just right past her doorstep in her kitchen. Erin attacked me. Yeah, she definitely attacked me with her Scooby tongue, and that was it. So she kissed me.
Oh my goodness. Okay, this is a good story too. So Seth lives in San Diego and I live in Los Angeles. And because of his job, he can't come up very often. But our first date was on March 3rd, and my birthday is on March 17th. So he had planned on coming up to town for my birthday. My birthday was on a Saturday this year, so he came up on Friday night, and he got there super late, at midnight. And it was raining outside, I remember. And so it was only 2 weeks after our first date. And we were on the phone while he was driving up, and we were talking about just a ton of different stuff. And the love word came up, but not to each other. We were just talking about it, and about when you say, I love you to somebody, it means so much. And I remember him saying, yeah, I only said, because he was engaged once before, to a girl named Erin, like, I don't know, 8 years ago. It's so weird. Anyways, he's like, I've only ever said I love you to my ex-fiance. That's the only girl I've ever said it to. I was like, oh my gosh. So I was thinking, I probably won't hear it for a while because he had just conveyed to me in a conversation on the phone that he only says it when he knows he is probably going to marry someone. And so he's only said it one time before. And then he like surprised me because he's like, oh, the traffic's so bad, and I'm like, it's midnight, when are you gonna get here? He's like, it's so bad. So anyways, he hangs up the phone and then he texts me and he says, come outside. And I was like, oh, so I wasn't expecting him because he told me he was stuck in traffic. So I went outside and he was standing there with roses and it was raining outside and I ran and he picked me up and it was so cute. It was like out of a movie. And he told me, I'm so in love with you. I love you. And then I said it back. The interesting thing about that story is that I had wanted to tell him I loved him so many times, but I just didn't because I wanted him to say it first. But it was really natural for me, like from the very beginning, to tell Seth that I loved him. But that's how he said it first.
I told Erin March 17th, 2012 on her birthday. It was just past midnight. I'd just driven up from San Diego. I think it was even raining a little bit, if I remember. And it was on Erin's porch on her birthday. I gave her a big hug and told her that I was in love with her.
The fact that he's such a hard worker, he's passionate about what he does, but like more than that, he just really values hard work. And I've always been that way. I've had a job since I was 14, and I didn't always have to, but I just wanted to. I always felt better when I was working hard, and he's the same way. So I really appreciate that in him and love that a lot.
Well, the first 6 are body parts, so I'll stay away from those. Erin and I told her this the first time we went out. We were riding in her car. She had a glow about her that very obvious, just very, very sweet, very nice, had this awesome glow, and I told that to her about 2 or 3 times during that date. That is something that attracted me instantly to Erin. Besides, of course, she's beautiful, and she has so many great features that I won't talk about. But she just has this presence and this glow and this kindness to her that really attracted me to her initially.
There's two. I have 2 physical features that I like about Seth, that I love about Seth. The first is his eyes. He has the most beautiful eyes because he has really dark features. I thought he was Mexican when I first met him on our first date because I didn't know what he looked like because his Facebook profile had 0 pictures and we were set up on a blind date. But at that point in my life, I was like, oh, I'm just going to date a ton because I needed to do that. And so I just decided to go out with him. And I liked the dark features, but he's like the only one in his whole family that has them. But he has these dark eyebrows and they're like pretty defined. And then he has these really pretty light brown eyes. So I love it. And it's just like, I mean, you can tell a lot about a person from their eyes. And his eyes are mysterious, but they have a lot of light in them. So I love his eyes. And then I love his arms. I love his arms. He has the best body of any guy I've ever, I never thought I'd end up with a guy with a good body because I didn't really care. I was always the girl that was like, I don't care if they need to lose a few, I like to pinch their fat or whatever. There is no fat to pinch on that man's body. He works out so much and he has these huge arm muscles and I love holding on to them. So there's 2. I can't decide.
It's got to be, favorite thing about her has got to be her smile. I would definitely say her smile. Great teeth, always lights up the room whenever she smiles. Awesome smile. That's something I noticed about Erin the first time I went out with her and every date after that.
Oh my gosh, I'm most looking forward to sex. And he will probably say that too. Because honestly, I'm so ready. I'm 32. It's about time. But I'm excited to just have a partner to do things, make decisions with, have somebody there to do those things within life. I'm really independent, and for my friends that are watching this, and for those that know me, they know that I'm very self-sufficient, and I like to do things on my own. And it's always been hard for me to let a guy do anything for me. But with Seth, I truly feel like we're partners, and I like that a lot, and I'm excited to see how that will be in marriage.
That's an easy answer for me. Just being with my best friend all the time, being with Erin, being able to hang out, seeing her before she goes to sleep and when she wakes up. That's got to be for me. Just that companion at my side all the time. Something I'm looking forward to. Erin would answer, probably not out loud, but I know what her answer would be. Just pure physical. That's an easy one for me to answer for Erin.
One of the reasons that I chose to marry Seth and be with him for the rest of my life and eternity is because he makes me a better person, and he makes me want to be a better person. And part of that is, I think I've always been so confident in professional life and in dealing with anything business, wise, or I think I was a really good missionary. I've always been confident at talking to people and having that presence, but in relationships, I haven't had a lot of confidence because I've had I've had the broken road leading to this man. And he has been my rock, and just always being steady and letting me know that he loves me no matter what. And we've had a lot of tests in our relationship already. I feel like my self-worth and my confidence have just changed for the better because of him and the way that he loves me. So that's one way, and probably the biggest way that I think that he's changed me for the better.
Easy. In many ways, I'm a lot more patient, easier going, understanding, a lot less selfish. Erin would probably say that about me. I'm probably less selfish. I remember Erin and I, when we started to get serious, it was hard to give up some of my old habits of being single, and so definitely that I'm a lot less selfish than I used to be. I think Erin would say that for me. Still something I'm working on, of course.
We want to start having kids as soon as possible.
Erin wants 5, and I want 3, and we're going to have 3 and maybe a dog. This is probably our biggest point of contention. Erin wants 5 kids. I want 3, and we'll probably stop at 3. That's my final answer on that one.
Oh, I thought of, we don't exchange vows in the temple when we get married in our church. But I thought often about what I would say about Seth if we did. And because I think that there's so much meaning to why I love you. I'll just talk to you, Seth, right now, so that you have a little message from me. I'm so emotional when I think about it, because it's been a long journey preparing for you and waiting for you. And you came into my life when I had lost a lot of hope and love, and I'm so grateful that you're here. And I know that it's not going to be easy when you're gone. And when you're gone, I will always be thinking about you. I will always love you, and I will always cherish the moments that we have when you're here. And I'm so excited to marry you on September 29th. And I know that we are going to be together forever. And that just gives me the most comfort and peace to know that you're on my team and I'm on yours. So it's us, you and me, you're stuck with me. You always say that to me, and I love it when you do, that I'm stuck with you. And I can't imagine being stuck with someone better. So I love you.
What an exciting time. I'm so grateful to have you in my life, and I love you so much. Sorry that I'm away all the time and I'm at work. You're so strong, and you handle it so well. Thanks for being my rock and being there for me. You're the most amazing person in my life, and I love you, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. You're always there for me, Erin, and I appreciate you more than you will ever know, and I'm going to love you more every day. And hopefully we're going to have a long, eternal life together. I'm so grateful for you, and you know how much I love you and how much fun we're going to have and how much fun we do have. And I can't wait for this time in our lives, Erin. It feels like my life has just begun, and I can't wait for every moment with you, Erin.
Far in far Bombay, come fly with me, let's fly away. Come fly with me, let's float down to Peru. In Lama Land there's a one-man band, and he'll toot his flute for you. Come fly with me, let's take off in the blue.